Hey, I'm JM and I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host Sam, and together we're here to bring you the
The
Solo
Solo
Success
Success
Podcast.
Podcast. So, the reason why we're bringing this to you today is that the hair and beauty industry is moving fast towards a world of freelancers. Over 70% of people working in the space are freelance, and actually 48% of salons are looking to close within the next couple of years. So, there's a big opportunity for those who want to go solo. But what we found is that there wasn't any good resource out there to help you on your journey.
So on each episode, we'll be speaking to different industry experts and insiders, those that have been on interesting journeys and that have stories to tell, and they're going to be sharing their tips and advice on how you can elevate your solo beauty career.
I'm super excited. That's so awesome. Let's get into it. Hello everyone and welcome, Jo. Very excited to have you with us today. So Jo Tompkins, if you don't know her, she's a double Scratch Award winning nail tech and business coach. And not only has she built a very successful nail business, self-employed nail business, you've now also helped thousands of nail techs and beauty business owners get fully booked with premium clients. So now you're the founder of the Nail Business Success Club and the Nail Tech Tribe, which is a membership for, I think, very ambitious nail techs and beauty professionals who want to run a successful business, but also live an awesome life while doing it. So welcome, Jo. Super excited to have you with us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And that sounds really good what you just said. I'm like, oh wow, I've done good.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have completely. And I think like the first thing I want to chat to you about is the main thing that I think most nail techs that I know think about is how to get fully booked. So I think the first thing I wanted to maybe ask you is like, what is kind of maybe the misconception about getting fully booked?
I think one that it should be really easy and that it should be really quick. Like I know like we spout like a lot on our socials about how, we'll share like reviews and testimonials from people that are inside our membership that will be like, they've literally just started and in 3 months they're fully booked. But that isn't necessarily the norm for everyone. In fact, it's not the norm for everyone. Like that is great and that can happen. But actually, what we really need is the consistency over time in order to get fully booked. Like most people it's probably gonna take them 6 to 12 months, but it really does depend on where you're starting at. So like if someone's coming into this industry and they've got very little confidence, which I see all the time, it could take them like 3 or 4 years. Like we've got an amazing lady, like I love her so much. Her name's Lindsay. She's been in my membership for a few years. And she's full now and she earns good money now, but it's taken her like 3 years to get there. And that's because like it didn't come easy to her. She wasn't able to just put the post out. Like some of us, we know what we're doing with our marketing. We know what we're doing with our branding. We just put stuff out there and it just works. But for others, I feel like there's this underlying thing. Like it doesn't matter how much you're doing, there's this underlying lack of confidence, which is like kind of like stopping it, like the success from coming, stopping the clients from coming, like this invisible thing. And I've got, because I've helped so many inside our membership, I've seen this happen so many times. If someone feels like it's not working at the moment, often we need to look internally and do some shifts internally as opposed to just keep going all the time. And so I think it really, if you're in this space at the moment where you're like, I'm not fully booked and I want to be, know that you can absolutely get there. It might take you 3 more months, it might take you 3 more years, but as long as you're like, you've got this passion, it's something that you want to do, you absolutely will get there in the end. It just takes a little bit more time than we can sometimes think.
Okay, great. I mean, I think this is like a great advice. I agree. Like sometimes things are a lot longer than we would like them to take. And
yeah, I think we all probably know that.
and what you say, like some achieve it within 3 months. Some it takes 3 years, and you touched on confidence. Would you say that's the main reason why there's a big difference, or are there like other reasons?
There are other reasons. So I think there's 2 main reasons. So first, it's that confidence. Second, it's actually knowing how to market and sell your services. Because I think there's also this misconception that we just need to post on social media. And I just need to go and make myself a logo on Canva or get someone to make one. And I just need to put that out there and then I'm going to get fully booked. And I think I don't think we go into business thinking it's going to be easy, because a lot of, it's very like, there's a lot of information out there that says, it's not going to be easy to build a business, but I don't think people realize how hard it can sometimes be and how much effort has to go in. Like, we had someone in probably just a couple of weeks ago that was like having to have lots of conversations with her clients, with potential clients, and she's like, I've been messaging this person for like a week, and they haven't booked, and I was like, how many inquiries have you had over the last month? Like, how many of them have you booked? And she's like, I don't know, it was like, I've had 20 inquiries and I've booked like 8 of them or something. And I'm like, well, that's amazing. Like, you've done so well to book those. But she was like, but I've spent so long on this one and it hasn't booked. It's like, to get booked, you need to get fully booked, you need to put, like, it won't always work what you're doing. Like, everything you do won't always be a success. And so you have to have that determination to just be like, what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep learning, keep on improving my marketing, my sales. And that, alongside building the confidence, that's what you need, those 2 things.
Something you just said there was about the strategy. And I think that's a really important part of business in general, and probably but something people overlook often. What elements of the strategy do you think are so important and so clear that you help people through in your membership?
So I think in order to get fully booked, there's like 3 main things that you need to nail. So 1, you need to make sure that people know about your business. So that's step 1. So this is making sure, like, this will be things like your branding, making sure you're putting yourself out there, your actual marketing, like your advertising. And I think the thing with a lot of nail techs and beauticians is because they don't have that marketing awareness. Like, I've got a marketing degree, and even when I started, like, I didn't know, like, right, I need to make awareness of my business. I didn't know all of this stuff. This came from doing it and having helped so many others now I can see an absolute, very, very clear strategy and technique that you need to follow in order to make it happen. It's not luck. Like, it's not like just down to that confidence. And so it's raising awareness of your business, what we just said. It's then actual selling of it. So how do you now take those people that know that you exist and you can actually get them to actually book in with you? Because there are many, many businesses out there that have 20,000+ followers on Instagram, but they're still not fully booked. And I can see their prices, and they're like charging £30 for like an hour's work. And I'm like, you've got 20,000 followers and you're only charging £30 an hour? Like, I'm like, this is madness. And what it tells me, and when I look down their followers list, because they're followed by lots of other nail techs, lots of other beauticians, and there's not the clients there. So I think we often want to look at the vanity metrics. Like, we want that instant hit of like, I've got loads of likes and I've got loads of people following me, like, and that does make you feel really good, but is it actually, like, underneath it, do you actually have the money coming in as well? So it's making sure the right people are following you, and then you know how to actually turn those people into clients. So conversion techniques is what we would call them, to get them from following you to actually booking in as quickly as possible. And then thirdly is rebooking them, because I think a lot of people think that they're good at rebooking, but if they actually nailed down their numbers, actually it's not quite as good as they think. So what we would say is, if you wanted to be someone who's going to get fully booked this year, you need to be growing every single month. So you need to be getting new people following you every month. You need to get new clients booking in every month. And all the people that booked in the past months, they also need to be rebooking that month too, so that you have not this like winter, summer, like money coming in up and down, but you're literally like a nice like line of literally every single month I earn more than I did the last month, because you're continually getting more and more people coming in.
100%.
That's fascinating. And I think that makes me think about something that I always like to say, is that life is a funnel a little bit. And if you're not familiar with the word funnel, it's like, just think about like, the shape of a funnel. And what you've just described is literally, I think, a booking funnel. So you have like people coming in at the beginning, like your traffic, people seeing you, then you have the sales, conversations, that then go into conversions, bookings, and then you have to rebook, so then they keep coming back. And I think like the thing that some people might not realize is that you always lose people along the way. You're never going to get 100%. So you need to pour in more at the top to get more at the bottom, essentially.
Absolutely.
One thing you started mentioning, which was conversion techniques, which I find fascinating. What would be maybe like the top 1 or the top 3 ones that you would say good nail techs, good beauty pros use to be able to convert that traffic into a paying customer?
Yeah. So we teach something in the Nail Business Success Club where when they're first starting out, so the thing with conversion is it's different at what stage of business you're at, in my opinion, and this is what we teach. If you're new and you are like, I need more clients and I need more money in, at that stage you need to be putting more effort in. So you need to, like, sending people to a website at the start of your business. If your website does not convert, you don't have social proof, you don't have the testimonials, you don't have great images, like, people are not necessarily, this is what I see, people are not booking, right? If we teach to have a conversation with someone in the beginning to, like, so that they can see the value in what it is that you're offering. So rather than just sending them a price list when they message, you're like having a conversation with them, finding out what it is that they want, finding out the issues that maybe had in previous appointments. Why have they not gone back to their last nail tech? Why have they not gone back to their last facialist? Like, there's a reason, right, that they're messaging you. And so we teach them a conversational way without it being pushy, salesy, to get that information from that person who's inquired, so that you can then provide them with the confidence to book in with you, like they can see the value in what it is that you're doing. And also we know then that your marketing's working, because if you're just sending people to your booking engine and you don't know, like, well, I'm not getting any bookings, like, why am I not getting any bookings? And you just don't have any information because you're just sending people to a website and you don't know why they're not booking. Whereas at least if you're having that message conversation with them, you're learning so much, but it takes time. And this is, and there are a lot of people, they're like, I don't want to do that. And you've got to put that extra effort in at the start. Now, once you've built momentum in your business, like, clients flow to you much, much easier. Like, you get to this point where you've got too many clients, you can't have those messages, conversations anymore because you've got too many bookings coming in and you just don't have the time. And at that point, we then recommend, like, automating the system. So then using, like, Jenna from John Michelle's business to automate that system. So one, having a website so that when you share into groups, do your social media or whatever it is that you're doing, your flyers, etc., that you are sending people to that website, and then they're able to book themselves in. And there's things that you absolutely have to be doing to make that happen. It doesn't just, John Michelle knows, it doesn't just happen that easily. You need to make sure, that it's very clear what they can book and everything like that. But that's when you can start automating it. And I don't think that means that you can't have a booking system in the beginning. I definitely would recommend one anyway, because you've got that social proof with the website. You don't have to send your manual confirmations, like, you can take payment and all of those things. But I'm just saying to have that initial conversation with the person in Messenger or on the phone before you book them in to start with.
Yeah, I really love that. Like, I think that's something that we do a lot. And if, some of our top customers are listening, they will know that we spend, like, a lot of time, me personally, with my co-founder Nabil, talking to our customers to understand why they came to us, what was their journey, what were the pain points that they were trying to solve. Because I think once you start really understanding this a lot better, that's when it can flow into your marketing. So I completely agree with what you're saying, and only automating once you get to a level where you're up, I'm almost fully booked. Like, now I can't have those conversations anymore. And that's a good place to be. And that's when you start to implement those next steps. I think, like, one thing that I've noticed, because we obviously do booking system, website and all of this, and we have customers coming to us and they are not fully booked. They are looking for customers and they think that a booking system is going to bring them customers. What would you say to them?
I hear this all the time as well. It's like, should I get Jenna because, it's going to help me to get the clients? Or I hear, like, should I sign up with this booking system or this one because, it says they're going to help me get the clients? And I think what it helps with is it helps give you a better online presence. But what it doesn't do is bring clients to that page. Like, so you have to, and I think those who used to use, like, like I'm trying to think of, like, the apps where they would pay like 40%.
Oh yes. So you have, like, Fresher and Treatwell, like the marketplace.
Yeah, things like Treatwell, and like they would use those to help bring them the clients in. But what that meant was they were now giving away like 40% of their income to be able to do that. So it's like you working in a salon and being on commission, right? Like, that person is running the salon, they're bringing the clients in, and then you just get to sit there and do it. And that, for someone who doesn't really want to run a business, that's a good way, right? But you might as well just go and get a job in someone else's salon rather than going to all the effort of, like, running your own business anyway. if you want to run a business, you have to know how to get your own clients. Like it's like, otherwise you're literally giving all your power away. You don't have any control over like what clients are coming in if you do not learn that yourself. Like, it is fundamental 101, the thing you have to do. It's more important than you've been able to do a great set of nails, or as important as you've been able to do a great set of nails.
Does your booking system still suck? Then you should look into Jenna.
Hey, I'm Jen, and I'm the founder of Jenna. We created Jenna specifically for solo business owners. We know how hard it is to build your own business, and without the right tools, it's even harder. Booking systems suck because they're designed for big salons. They're complicated, they have expensive monthly fees, and loads of hidden fees. And that's why we built Jenna.
With Jenna, you can look professional with a professionally designed website where you need no tech skills.
Jenna also helps you get your evenings back, because on average, beauty pros spend 45 minutes going back and forth with their clients. With Jenna, you can set your boundaries. Our system takes bookings, sets reminders, and handles payments automatically.
And with Jenna, we know how important it is for you to build your own brand with your own website, which is fully customizable. You don't sit next to your competitors on a marketplace, and we make sure that you stand out to your clients.
And the best is that it's only £19 per month. That's it.
No way!
With Jenna, there are no new client fees, no hidden fees, and no unexpected big bills at the end of the month.
This sounds too good to be true, but it's not. So check it out on jenna.so or look for @jenna.ai_ on Instagram.
Yes, check out Jenna on the App Store as well.
Is there anything that you recommend beyond social media? So like how referrals and things like that people can get more clients?
Yeah, I think so. Social media is fabulous. I think we definitely have to think of it as one part of a big part of our marketing overall. But I think it does work better when it's got like other kind of things involved as well. So like we talk a lot about like getting out there, like into our communities and like getting to know people. Like I know what people often say to me, like, I don't know anyone in my area, like, so it's really hard for me to get fully booked. But you can go out and make that happen. So like, I'll give you an example, like Jenny, she's one of our coaches inside the MBSC. Like she's basically put a sign out on the railings outside her house that has like her big thing about having her, salon at the home. And, she's like all the time, she's like, I see people walk past, they take a picture, and so if you've got that opportunity, you want to be doing things like that. Like she'll walk around, and I used to do this, I used to walk around with my French and Drenched t-shirt on. Like, it's very, very good advertising, and people, they talk to you about this stuff. Like, you don't have to know these people. Like, people are like, oh my God, like literally, I remember I went to Tesco's once, and literally I was wearing my thing, she's like, oh my God, you're the nail lady. Because she recognised my brand, because you need to be showing up in all the different places. Like, if you're only sharing into Facebook groups, that's going to get you so far. Like, but if you're sharing into Facebook groups, you have some flyers that are going out. You have, I don't know, I used to put flyers in like the local farms, because I was targeting mums. Like, I'd get things. Where are your people? How can you get in front of them? And advertising works. People often say to me, like, I don't want to appear desperate, like I'm advertising too much and I'm putting myself everywhere. But McDonald's advertises every single day. They're not desperate for the money. They advertise because you have to stay inside people's minds. And if you are able to get in front of your ideal clients once a week somewhere, then when they are ready to get their nails done or book that facial, you are the one that they're going to come to. And also they recommend you to others, and they haven't even ever been to you, because they're like, this person is obviously good. They're showing up everywhere.
Love that, 100%. I think that, isn't it something that you have to be seen 7 times or something before someone actually books in with you? And I think that it's so true. You kind of just maybe put one post out and hope for the best, but if you can pop up in different places.
I think the worst thing that you can do is be like, oh, well, I tried posting into that Facebook group and I didn't get anything from it, so that must mean no one's interested. It's like, oh my God, if only it was that easy to get to get a business off the ground. Like, we have to have a lot more determination, a lot more like tenacity, and like that, that consistency.
Resilience. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I feel like this all probably sounds a lot and quite overwhelming for people when they're maybe starting out or they've got to this stage. How do you help them kind of balance life and work?
Yeah, it's a lot in the beginning, isn't it? And I think because a lot of people also, they have other jobs and then they've got kids. So it's like they've got this dream of like, I want to get out of my job and I want to like be there for my kids more and I want to like have this great life. And I literally was there. Like I remember, still doing it now, trying to balance it all. But we have to take one step at a time, and how we help is that we break it down into sections. So because people come in, especially when they come into our membership, there's like 50 masterclasses in there. So it could be like, oh my God, I have so much work to do. I have so much to work on. And you physically can't. There is no way you are going to get your business perfect in a month. And I talk about to my members quite a lot of the time about the term that, Jean-Michel will know very well because he's into tech and stuff like that, but like minimal viable product. Like Apple didn't bring out like the iPhone 15 like in the beginning. It started off as what? I can't remember what they called, iPod. And then it's like progressed over time. And they weren't like, oh, well, let's not release the iPod because it's not perfect. It doesn't have the phone attached, it doesn't have all this stuff. Like they just got it out there. And so what we recommend that you do is start with something called Set Up for Success. So this is making sure that you have the foundations in your business set so that when you start advertising, it doesn't all just crumble and you don't get any clients. Like actually when you start putting the effort, because the marketing takes a long time, right? Like it's going to take you, at least 15, 20 minutes every single day to get something out there and to stay present and get your awareness of your business out there. So you want to make sure that that's worthwhile you're doing. And I think this is where a lot of the problem lies, is people think I'm spending so much time on this and it's not working. And then they stop doing it. And then the whole business flops, right? And then end up never making their dream happen. We have to make sure the foundations are in place first. So making sure, like Jean-Michel touched on it a minute ago, making sure that you know your niche and your unique selling points, like what makes you different. Making sure your branding is amazing, because in this day and age, like 10, 20 years ago, you could get away with okay branding. Now you can't. Like the expectations are high, like from everyone, like there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of people that are doing this great. You also need to be great. It's not enough to just be like, oh, I'm just going to knock up this really, half-hearted effort. I think it looks all right. My mum made it for me, or like my sister made it for me. And I mean, I can spot a non-professional like logo from a mile. Like I know if someone's made it themselves. I'd highly recommend that you get someone to make one for you. You have really great branding. You know your niche. You know your unique selling points before you spend a huge amount of time on marketing your business, because you need to look professional. Like it's so important in this day and age. Otherwise you are going to attract the people that are just bargain hunting, or the wrong people that aren't right. They're not going to rebook, and the whole business just feels so much harder at that point.
Yeah, 100%. And many of your clients now have implemented Jenna, which is great. Have you found that that's helped them with their sort of like work-life balance of not kind of having to do that back and forth with clients for such a long time and taking their time on bookings?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I was saying, like when you get to that stage where it's like for someone who maybe, I like to think of it like this, like if you've got a full-time job and you've got like your kids or whatever, and you're like, right, I'm going to work, to start with, it might be like, I'm just going to work 6 hours a week in my new business, right? Take that 6 hours and use it to actually work on the business while you don't have clients in. So you do your marketing, you do your messaging to your clients, like those types of things. And then as you start getting more clients in and you get to like, oh, okay, well, I've got like 5 hours of appointments in this week, I don't have all this time to do it. Then we obviously recommend like either upping your hours, reducing your day job stuff, getting more time, or you need to start automating the service. So many techs like think that they have to manually do everything, and there's, I don't know, some kind of pride in like not using a booking system, or like not having a website, and I just manage it all myself, and I think they want so much control over it. But if you want to run a successful business, if you want to be someone who's earning more than the average beautician, average nail technician, you need to be smarter with what it is that you're doing. And so we've recommended to loads of our Nail Business Success Club members have moved over to Jenna, and one, it saves time setting up that website. I mean, honestly, we used to recommend people to set up a Wix website, and we used to teach them, click here, do this. Honestly, they'd come onto the coaching calls, there'd be tears for like, it'd be like, I can't do this. I've spent like a week trying to do this, or, and it'd be like a month, 2 month task for some people, because they have never done anything like this. And now like they get to just ring up Jean-Michel, have a 15, 20-minute call, get their website set up. It's online. Like there's no tears. easy. So there's that part of it. And then also just not having to send like, the manual confirmations, like a big thing, like me and John Michelle went live about this in the Nail Tech Tribe Facebook group the other week, like, taking payment like up front, like not allowing people to walk all over you and, not pay you and not pay the deposits and, cancel last minute and all those things. Like, again, if you want to be a nail tech that's earning, a beautician earning £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 a month, you've got to have control of like those types of things as well.
100%.
Yeah, that's so good. I think like one thing that you just talked about, which I think is so important, is kind of that looking professional with your customers, right? You talked about the branding, you talked about the design, you talked about like the website, you talked about the booking system. I think this is all part of looking very professional, and obviously it requires quite a lot of work initially, but a lot of, I guess, like nail techs or beauty pros coming to your program, as you said, have families, they have a second job. So how would you kind of help allow them to manage kind of boundaries, like make sure they don't burn out? Because it can be so overwhelming. Like, how do you kind of keep that, I wouldn't say like work-life balance, but just like it's kind of, balance essentially?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I think as well, because we're so excited about our business. So it's like, I want to work all the hours in it, and I want to like, I'm sure we've probably all done that here on the call. Like we're all overstepped that boundary. I think it's not other people disrespecting your boundaries. It's you respecting your boundaries. Like, you are the one that gets to set them, and you are the only one. There's no one else on this planet that is gonna adhere to your boundaries. You are the one. If you let people walk all over you, they're going to walk all over you. If you let yourself like overwork and work until 2 a.m. knowing you've got to get up at 6 a.m. the next day with the kids, that's on you. Like it does require, I think, I'm not sure I like the word, but I'm going to use it now, like discipline. We need this. You need to have that discipline of like, because that again is going to drive what you want to do. Like, if this is really important thing to you, if this is something like, I'm so excited, like that one day I won't have to have a boss, like one day I won't have, like I used to work as an admin assistant in a basement 45 hours a week. Like, I hated that job, like absolutely hated it. And, I had to work really hard and put extra effort in, and I was staying up late. I remember when I had my baby, like when Jack, I remember like I'd get him, babies, they go to bed so late, right? It's like, feed them, they get to bed. And then I'd be like, right, I'm going to make my website now, because I was so excited. I was happy to put that extra time in and to do it. And, I think we do need a bit of that, but also you need to remember that you are only human, and you don't have to get all of this done in 1 week or 1 month. Like, it's, having success in your business is going to come from that consistency over the years, not from what you do one day a week.
Yeah, I really love that. Like, I'm big on consistency. I think like it's all about like small steps, step by step, and make sure you kind of create those things that you need that compound over time. So that's after a year, like you were saying, right, with Apple, like after 10 years, like the product that you have or the business that you have is very different. It's a lot more mature, it's more professional, but you can't get that overnight. And I think it's really good to kind of keep that in mind. Otherwise you'll just burn out even if you're like so excited.
Yeah, and I think I remember like, just like share back to like when I started, like, so it was 10 years ago, so literally a decade like ago that I trained with C&D Shellac. And at that time, so I was working in that basement, and just to think like, and that first couple of years of running French and Drench and building my nail business, I didn't feel like I was going to be wildly successful, or like, it felt really, really hard. Like, it felt like, I had babies at home, and I was like I didn't have any childcare, couldn't afford it. Like, I was trying to work out in the night. It didn't feel easy, and I really want everyone to understand that. Like, if you're at home at the moment and you're like, yeah, but it doesn't feel easy, and like, I don't know if I'm going to get it. I didn't either. And yet we roll on to a decade, that compounding of like everything I did, like, to have now built an amazing business and have achieved way more than I ever thought possible. I'm just like, I'm just gonna do some nails around my kids so I can earn some money, so I don't have to go to this rubbish job anymore. Like, to what we have achieved, and that, I didn't feel like I was going to have that success. I just kept going and had faith that, it would all work out.
Yeah, we spoke about this on another episode of the comparison part of life, and especially with social media, and your day one is not the same as someone that's on day 100 and not someone that's on like day 2000. So like it's so hard because you look at it and think, oh, they're doing so much better than me. They've got it all under control. They can be the mum, they can be the businesswoman or man, and they can get it all done in 24 hours. But how can I not? But yeah, not to compare to other people. It's so important. And it's so nice for you to say, I've been doing this for 10 years, so I have got it in check, and I have understood my boundaries, and I have understood how it works. And it's nice to hear that for others, I think.
And even now, like, I don't know about you, but like even now, I don't wake up every day thinking, oh my God, like I've done so well. Like, this is great. Like, you wake up and you're like, you're in the thick of it still. And you're like, this is happening and I feel like this. And, it doesn't, I don't think business, well, it doesn't for me anyway, feels like this really nice, happy, like lovely time all the, every day. It's quite relentless. It's quite like you've got to keep putting that effort and that work in, especially if you want to keep growing. I think that's the thing. If you get to the stage and you're just like, oh, this is great, like, and you can sit there and enjoy it. I feel like people that can do that, it's incredible, a great skill. But I'm literally just, I guess we're the same, always just trying to kind of get on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how do you you yourself, like, because you've seen how far you've come, right? You were like, oh, I was doing this, I had this job I hated, I then just want to do nails around my kids so I can quit this horrible job. Now you're very successful, but you're still feeling that kind of relentlessness. Like, how do you are able to kind of almost like take it in and see how far you've come? Are there any tips on reflections, like things like that you do that you can share with others?
So I think, Jean-Michel knows this, but I pretty burnt out in December. I think I was trying too hard. And I think that's a big lesson that probably a lot of people can take away, and maybe they're feeling right now is like, I just feel like you're pushing and pushing and pushing. And actually, I think at some point you can actually, I think I talked about this at the start a little bit, but go back internally and really take that time to sort like this out. Because if you feel like you're pushing and pushing and pushing and you're not getting the results that you want, something needs to shift internally as opposed to keep trying and trying and trying to change the things externally that are going on. So I think it's taking more time for yourself is the answer. I think it's understanding that as a business owner, you don't need to be doing all the time, and actually you need to switch. You not even switch off, but like you need to give yourself time to think about, I don't know, just to sort the things that are going on in your head out, rather than external time. So looking at how far I've come, doing the gratitude work, like thinking about what it is that you want, and just I think we can all make life a little bit easier for ourselves as opposed to just doing all the time.
100%. It's that reflection time, and I think people try and do it maybe at the beginning of the year, and they think, oh, I'll take time to reflect and manifest what I want. But actually, we need to do that more often, not just once a year, probably once a month or every couple of months. I mean, every day. Yeah, 100%. To reset yourself, align your goals, and then get back on track to what you do.
I've got an OBM, like a business manager. What did she say to me? Got to slow down to speed up, which I really liked. So I think booking systems is a great example of this. I've got to book the call, and I've got to get this booked in, sort all this stuff out, and I've got to move all my stuff over and book all my clients in. It's like, okay, it's going to slow you down for a week or so while you do that, but actually it's going to speed you up in the long term. But I think sometimes we're so in our head of like, but I just need to get on with the marketing, I just need to do this, this and this, that actually, we can't see or think straight. And that's why I think we do absolutely need, every day I try now to take that time to really think about, how can I make this easier? What am I not getting here?
Yeah, so that's really good. And what would you then recommend? I guess so obviously there's like the booking system side. We talked about the website. We talked about the basis. But then is there anything else that you would tell nail techs when they're like in the thick of it? Like how do you do this work? How do you kind of look back? How do you kind of set up like for the future?
So we call it like mindset work inside Now Business Success Club. So we have like a section called the Epic You, which is part of our whole process. Like if you are not epic, you're not feeling epic, like we said, it's going to be really hard. So doing things like, because a lot a lot of beauticians, a lot of nail techs, when they're coming into this, most haven't done huge amounts of personal development work before. So it's starting with the basics of like, you know, I think it's having a bit of knowledge around like sabotaging behaviors, like, you know, what am I doing that's, you know, actually sabotaging my success? Because I know so many of us, it's like we wake up and we're like, yeah, I'm going to do this and this today, I'm going to post on socials, and then we don't do it because out of fear. There is so much fear there. So it's working on, you know, things like listening to the right things. Like every day I set the intention to listen to like Tony Robbins priming, like a 15-minute. Have you done that?
I haven't done that,
No.
but I know what he does, so I
You should do
understand
it.
like
So-
how we can help you.
Yeah, on YouTube, it's like a 15-minute thing. It gets you to like set your intentions. It's like feeling into the gratitude, thinking about your goals, like, and honestly, you do that and you just feel so amazing at the end. People say to me all the time, oh my God, like, you know, your energy, like you know, like you must be such a morning person. I'm like, I really am not. Like, I don't wake up with the energy. I don't wake up feeling great. But I've trained myself to get into that place so that by 9 o'clock when I'm taking the kids to school and, you know, I've got to get on with my day now, I'm not wallowing on the sofa like in self-pity of like, I can't do this. Like always, you've got to get yourself in that frame of mind. And so being in something like the Nail Business Success Club is great because you're surrounding yourselves with the right people. Like, you know, you could go on your phone, scroll on your phone, you're going to see a Nail Business Success Club like post that, you know, is on your feed, and it's like, you know, I've made £3,000 this month, and how much better is that for your mind than seeing a post in another Facebook group, a free Facebook group, where it's like, I can't get any clients, does anyone else not get any clients either? Like, it's making sure that you're filling your mind with the right thoughts from yourself, with the right thoughts from other people. Like, I think trying as much as possible to get rid of the stuff that doesn't make you feel good. Like, you know, we were talking about like the news and politics and things like before we went live, and like I can't put myself into that world to hear that stuff or to listen to it, because one, I find it too distracting, and I feel like I just need to look after my own mind and my own brain, and I just don't want to hear any of that stuff. So until it filters through into social media, like if there's news that filters through into social media, I might suddenly realise that, and then I'll say to Gaz, oh, what about this, like, you know, this plane crash that happened like 3 days ago? And he's like, you didn't know about that? I'm like, no, because unless it filters in, I don't get to see it, which is not for everyone. And I know there's, you know, pros to knowing all of that stuff and being involved and obviously being a good human and understanding things. But for me, I try to be very, very focused now and try not to distract myself with too much.
Yeah, and I completely get that. I think like I find the same things, like when you start getting information that you can't act on, you can't have any impact on, and the news is off that, like you can't really do anything about it. Like that can be distracting and also like negative. And one concept I always try to remember myself is that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself and you spend the most time with, and that's like, I mean, this is just a concept, so it's like 5 people, but also like what information you look at, what things you do. So I think like what you're saying, essentially, like make sure what you surround yourself with is who you want to be or where you want to go, because that's going to really drive you that way. And I'm definitely buy into that. When we talk about Deltex, I mean, a lot of them, like they would start building their business. They get their customers, they get going, they look after their mindset, but sometimes they get hit, like, you know, last minute cancellation, no show, things like this. How do you help them like kind of cope with that, reduce it, make sure that they are able to kind of, work around these things a lot better?
Yeah. So business is a learning curve, and I think until we learn the lesson, we keep getting delivered it. So with the whole cancellation thing, if you're like moaning to your partner every week that someone else cancelled and yet you're not doing anything about it, it's going to keep happening until you do something about it. So it's try and learn the lessons as soon as possible. Like, I think we can often think, oh, it's just that one-off client. It was just, you know, I don't need to do anything yet, but it will continue to happen until you do something about it. So I think one, it's making sure that you've got the right cancellation conditions, like you've made a decision on them, like so that you're not having to make a decision every single time it happens. The emotion can then get taken out of it. So you've set your cancellation conditions or your whatever it is. You've told them to the client at the time of booking, because if you haven't, then you've got no leg to stand on whatsoever. And the client then gets to make a decision. Do I want to book based on these conditions or not? If they do, they now accepting them and they know it, which means when they come to cancel, why do you feel bad about charging for that cancellation? Like if it's, I have like a nice like get out of jail free card for like every single client. Like if someone did it for the first time, they get let off, right? I'm like, but I make sure that I retell them the rules. I'm letting you off this once, just so that you know for next time, whether it's illness of a kid, whatever, you like, because I'm running a business, I will need to charge you. Like that's, just so that you know. Well, now they know. And what we found with the MBSC members is that when they get cancellations, their clients just send them the money. They're not even having to ask them or tell, they just know I've missed the appointment, so they send the money. And so I think it's one about making sure that you're very, very clear with the cancellations, you're very honest with them. And then two, it's when they do happen, like just go back to the rule like that you already set. You don't need to make it all up again, like it's been this big problem. But everyone's human, things happen. I say, like, we're not traffic wardens. We don't need to like stick a sticker on every single car that we come across. Like we also, have great clients. Like we have amazing clients that we don't have to charge because we run the business, we get to choose, right? If you've got a client who comes in every 2 weeks and spends thousands of pounds a year with you and they cancel once, like I probably wouldn't charge them. I'd just be like, yeah, this happens. But if it was, you get the same people all the time, don't you? It's like this, I've got an emergency and then emergency and emergency. It's always an emergency. Something's happened. And those people, you have to set those rules for them or they will just continue to think it's okay to walk all over you.
I think that's the hard thing with this industry is that you're so personable and you're so chatty with your clients. So when you've got them and you have that relationship with them, to then talk about money or to set those sorts of boundaries becomes quite tricky. And I think the same thing when you're starting to overlook your prices and you want to increase your prices because you have to, and then there's that fear of doing it. How do you help people kind of overcome that and setting a new price list for?
Yeah, I'll just talk to you about the loyal client thing here. I think the majority of our fully booked technicians and beauticians are being held back by their loyal clients. So I think we've got this thing where it's like, I want this person forever. And this person has been with me since the start and I owe them my life because they booked to have their eyebrows done with me like every 2 weeks. And what we actually teach now is, so we have something called the fully booked advantage, which you get at least 80% full, you raise your price. You get 80% full, you raise your price. And that can be terrifying for people, especially those that have been in business a long time. Like they've been in business 10 years, they've raised their price twice in that whole time. And they got clients in their books that have been there for 5+ years. They're like, come every 2 weeks. They never really, hardly ever need new clients. But they're stuck earning £2,500 a month. And they're realizing they can't earn the living that they need in this day and age on that, and yet they're so fearful because they're so scared of losing those clients, of upsetting them, making them feel like that they're greedy, that they can't do that, and so it comes back to that what we talked about at the start: confidence and strategy. You can't, even if you're fully booked all the time, I mean, I see it the great techs in our industry, people with the best skills, they're winning awards and they're still earning under £50 for sets of nails. And I'm like, you're the best in the industry. We have people in the Nail Business Success Club that are brand new that are charging more than some of the people that have been doing it for 10, 15 years. And so it comes down to that confidence again to keep raising them. And letting some of those clients go. It is it's about, you just don't want to hold on to them. It affects retail as well. If you have the same clients in every single 2 weeks for 5 years, what retail are they still buying from you? And so I think it's better to mix it up a little bit. Be happy to, okay, I'm going to lose some of those clients. Every time you do a price rise, you might lose 10-15% of your clients, but you know how to get new clients in. You're great, you've done great with your business. You've got so much potential. You've got momentum on your side. You've got leverage because you know how to get clients. You're going to be fine. It's just getting over that hump of that initial price rise.
So essentially the way to get, to almost kind of keep growing your business is to continuously raise your prices. slowly but surely. A little bit we talked about like step by step, right? So that the clients that can't keep up with you, they will then leave, and that's okay. It's okay to let go, and that will allow you to have space for other customers who are willing to pay those prices. Is that
And
how it works? Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, there's other things that you can do as well. I mean, this is the difference. So, like techs and beauticians, generally, you could say that word then. Within the UK, they can probably get themselves, if they were working full time, to 2.5, maybe 3K. Like a lot of them. Some of them, like they've got the right mindset, they can do it and they can get above. But the majority will sit at around that kind of figure or less. If you want to be a technician, sole trader, beautician who is earning £5,000 a month, you have to go through this process. Like you have to build the confidence, you have to have these types of strategies like we were just talking about just then. And it's not just price rising. Price rising is a big part of it. Like if you raise your prices, over £10 every, £5 to £10 every 6 months or whatever, you're going to start earning like a lot more money in the time that you've got. But it's also things like service menu strategy. Like, I mean, a lot of people come into the industry, especially nail techs, a little bit different for beauticians because they already do, lots of different things generally. But like for like nail technicians, we have this thing where it's like, I just do nails. Like I love nails and I just do nails, which is great. But when you start hitting 3K, if you're coming to me and you're like, yeah, but I want to earn 5K, Jo, like, because I am ambitious, like I want more. And I'm like, well, you need to make some decisions in your business. You can continue to raise the price of your nail services, but if you're in order to earn 5K and you're only working 20 hours a week because otherwise you're going to break your back, like, and your shoulders are going to give in and you're going to have an awful time as you get older. Like, you probably only want to be doing 20, 25 hours a week of actual appointments. Otherwise, it's back breaking. So if you can do that, and I'm like, okay, well, you actually now need to be charging, I can't remember the maths on it, but like a huge amount for your nail sets. So either you build a business that is around your nail sets that is going to be high cost, like high, to do that, in which case you need to be like absolutely luxury, the best, the premium, like the best person to go to. And then often they're like, yeah, well, that seems quite hard. Like, is there any other way? And I'm like, well, the other way is to bring in services that you can typically charge more for. And they're like, yeah, well, I didn't really want to do that. But actually, you know what? It is really important for me that I want to earn 5K a month because that seems like really fun. And I'll be able to go on my nice holidays and do things with my kids and take them on places. And then they start to realise that actually that might be the way forward. And so then we implement a lot of in MBSC, like even just adding luxury pedicures into your treatment can bring you an extra £1,500 a month in. Like, going with, we teach a lot of my Nail Business Success Club members will go in for things like elim pedicures, which, they're able to charge £70 to £100 for a set. It takes for a pedicure, it takes up to an hour and a half. You can't be charging that necessarily for nails very easily. So whereas they are able to get clients coming in and having these because it's a great pedicure. And so looking at your service menu strategy, it's like, okay, well, if I want to be earning 5K a month, what do I need? I need to maybe do 50% of nails and 50% of something else. And that is alongside the pricing, another way that you can kind of up your income.
Nice. So like diversifying their treatment lists and having add-ons and stuff, I feel like is a great way, easy-ish.
Yeah, as long as they can fit it in the time, because I think the problem is like they get this thing, it's like they'll work a bit more, like they'll give up their jobs and then they start working more and more. And people, I think at the start, they think I can do 40 hours a week of appointments. But after a couple of years of that, they start to realise I am burning out. And actually, because it's not just the physicalness of doing it, it's the having to be switched on all the time to have that, that conversation, like the energy that's involved. I mean, I can come off this call after an hour and I'm like, oh, because you bought the energy for an hour, then you need to and I think, you're having to do that for some people will do that for 10 hours a day. Constantly, it becomes really hard. So I think then they start to reduce their times back and be like, okay, well, I don't want to work Saturdays anymore, I don't want to work any evenings anymore. And so they do that, and then it's we need to make sure then that we're still able to earn the same if not more without working as many hours. So with the add-ons, so then they're like, the add-ons are great, but you need most of them you need time for them to do. Like retail is great, so getting really great at retail, and again, making sure that you've got the right brands in your salon so that you can retail. Crazy to be like, I'm a nail tech, and the only thing I retail is a £5 cuticle oil. Like, you're not going to get rich doing that. Like, how often are people buying a cuticle oil from you? Once every 3 or 4 months maximum, and you're making £2.50 off of it if you're selling it for a fiver. It's like, it's not, you need to, if you want to be earning a lot more, you need to be really thinking a lot more about the specific products and brands and things like that you've got available.
Absolutely.
That's great. I mean, thank you so much, Jo. This is like so helpful. Maybe like a final piece of advice for nail techs wanting to level up their business.
Work on your confidence. Let's go back round to the start. It's everything, like from when you're starting out to getting those first few clients, once you're fully booked and you're wanting to leverage that success, like keep on growing, keep like growing that confidence, and the income will grow with it, and you're allowed to. I think a lot of us, we think like, oh, it's greedy if I earn more than whatever we've set as this target, 2k, 3k, 4k or whatever, but you know what, you are capable of way more than you think you are. And as long as you open yourself up to increasing your confidence, increasing your learning, like, you know, really the world's your oyster with your business, and you can grow it much larger than you think you can.
I mean, thank you. That's so inspiring. I think like this was like really great. And for all the nail techs and beauty pros who want to grow their business, you can find Jo at the Nail Business Success Club, NBSC, or on Instagram, I think it's at the Nail Tech Tribe. Right, that's how they can find out about you.
Tribe, yeah.
Exactly. There's also a Facebook group, the Nail Tech Tribe, and then a private group for the ABSC. I can also very vouch for the club because we have a lot of our customers at Jenna who are some of your members, and they are very successful. I can guarantee, I can't tell you how much they earn, but they're earning like a very good amount of money. And I think like you've talked a bit, you touched on like a few of the elements of your program, and I think it's a really kind of a 360 support that you get to grow your business. So if you want to get serious about your business, I think like investing in something like that, like some coaching, is you don't have to do it yourself. Essentially, they're all, you know, Jo can help you with that, and I think that's really something that I found, at least for me as well, in my business journey, to unlock myself when I felt stuck somewhere, because getting some expert advice from the side is always really helpful. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us.
So
this was really amazing, and I think there's been so many valuable insights on this episode. So yeah, everyone at the Nail Tech Tribe, Jo Tompkins, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye.